All right. So 16, 17, and 18 are basically doing the same thing we just did and then picking out. Did we get an answer? Are they parallel lines so they have no solution? Or are they the same line right on top of each other that have infinite many solutions? So these ones again I'm going to solve just by the addition method. They've already made it convenient for you where you don't have to multiply by anything. You already got some opposites. So we can go ahead and add. So on my top line, when I add those two equations together, what am I going to get?
You're going to get -0. Oh, what, we're adding?
We're adding. So this is 1 minus 1, right?
Yeah, so it would be 0.
So it'll be 0. And then you have 5 minus 5, which is also 0, right? So we get 0 equals, and on the other side we get
5 minus 5 equals 0.
Do you have 5 minus 5 on the other side?
Oh, 5 plus 5 equals 10.
You get 10. You get 0 equals 10. Now remember before when we were solving those systems of equations, when we got an answer that said 0 equals something other than 0, our answer was no solution. 0 can't equal 10. That's not true, right? So on our second one, when I add those ones together, what happens with those ones?
Zero?
You get 0 equals 0. When we got 0 equals 0, we had all real numbers our solutions. This is the kind where the line is actually one line right on top of the other line. So on these ones, you're going to say the system has infinite many solutions. Okay? But now they're going to make a second part to that. When it says they have infinite many solutions, they're going to have you take one of your equations. It's hard to see here, but it's up here. You're going to solve it for y. So I have to take one of those two equations, doesn't matter which one of the two you pick, and solve it for y. I'm going to just take the top one. If x plus 3y equals 3, and remember when we rearranged it so we could find the slope and the y-intercept? That's what we have to do. We have to rearrange it. So we got to move the x to the other side. 3y is going to equal negative x plus 3 then, right? When the x moved over, the sign changed. And then we have to get rid of this 3, so we're going to divide by 3. So down there in that little spot where it says y equals, y is going to equal, and you could simplify this if we were looking for the slope and the y-intercept, but they don't care, so we're just going to leave it as negative x plus 3 over 3 then. That'll just go there by that y equals part.
So that's the answer.
That's the answer. Yep, we've rearranged it and solved it for y.
Plus 3 divided by 3.
Yep.
That's the answer.
All right, so now we're going to look at the next one. Oh, the next one they did a little goofy thing on us. And before we can solve that one, that second equation has to be rearranged. What do we have to do with that second equation?
Do we need to put the y by the 2?
We want to move the 2 over to the other side, right? So it looks like all the rest of our equations.
Oh, okay.
So if I move that 2 to the other side, it's going to become a positive 2, right? So 2x minus y equals 2. Now, when I add those two equations together, what do I have to do? Or what do I get?
Okay, we've got 2x, and that cancels out. Negative y and a y. We just get 2.
We don't get 2, no. Here, the x is canceled, right?
Yeah.
The y is canceled. And what about the numbers on the ends?
Oh, you get 0 plus 2?
I get, no, because this one was this one rearranged, so I'm using the top one and the third one. Negative 2 plus 2 is
0.
0. So I get 0 equals 0 again, right? So we had negative 2x plus y equals negative 2 for our top equation, and then 2x minus y equals 2 for our bottom equation after we rearranged it. Then you can see better that everything cancels. So when we got 0 equals 0, what was our choice for our answer?
The system has no solution.
Nope.
Oh, the system has unique. Oh, wow, next.
When 0 equals 0.
0 equals 0. The system has infinitely many.
It has infinite many solutions because 0 is always equal to 0. And then we had to rearrange our equation and solve it for y. So this one's a little easier to solve for y because we just need to move our x to the other side, right?
Yeah.
And so if we move our negative 2x to the other side, it's going to become a positive 2x. And so y is just going to equal 2x minus 2 then, right? Don't have to divide on that one. So y equals 2x minus 2. Okay, now let's look at the next one. On the next one, when we add those two equations together, what's going to happen there?
They're all going to be zeros.
Nope.
Oh, that's going to be negative 4x.
Negative 4x. The y's are opposites. Those are going to cancel.
Yeah, 4x, those are going to cancel, and negative 6 is going to be equals minus 36. Or 36, positive 36.
Nope, you're multiplying. We should be
Oh,
adding,
adding.
right? A negative 6 plus another negative 6 would be
12.
Negative
12.
12.
Negative 12.
So this is one that's going to solve and we're going to get an answer because now we're going to divide by our negative 4
Yep, negative 4.
and x is going to equal
X is going to equal 3.
3. Now we found x, we still need to find the y. So we want to pick one of our two equations to use to find the y like we did on the previous problems. So do you want to use the top one or the second one?
The top one's fine.
Okay, negative 2x minus y equals negative 6 then. We're going to put 3 in for our x, right? So negative 2 times 3 would be negative 6 minus y equals negative 6. And if I want to solve that for y, I'm going to move my 6 to the other side. So I got to add 6, right? So negative y is going to equal 0. And technically I would divide by negative 1, but 0 divided by anything stays 0. So in this case, where I've got answers, we have a unique solution. And then when we put it in, we put the x first and the y second. So 3, 0 is my solution because x was 3 and y was 0.
X was 3. And what was this?
So it has a unique solution. 3 zeros our solution. We got answers on that one. All right, one last one here, number 50 or 18. Oh, now they're naughty to you again. We don't have that bottom equation in the right order, so what do we have to do to get the bottom equation in the right order?
We have to move the 3y.
Nope. We're not going to move the 3y.
Okay, so you gotta have
But we want it to look sort of like the top equation. What is in the wrong spot?
the x.
The x. We got to move the x over. So the x is going to move back here, and it's going to make it a negative x, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to just rewrite my two equations. I have x minus 3y equals negative 6, and then I'm going to have negative x plus 3y equals 6. So when I add those two equations together, what's going to happen with those ones?
Okay, so those are gonna cancel out, those are gonna cancel out. Negative 6 plus 6, next. Oh, that's gonna cancel, that's 0 too.
So we get
what?
0 equals 0, right? Everything cancels out, 0 equals 0. And if we get 0 equals 0, which one of the answers are we going to pick over there?
The 0 and the 0, it's going to be, the system has infinitely many solutions.
Infinitely many solutions. Every point on the line is going to work, and now we have to solve one of our equations for y. So let's just use the top one. X minus 3y equals negative 6. So if we're going to rearrange that one, what would we do?
You're gonna move the x.
Move the x, which is going to make it
Negative.
negative x. So negative 3y equals negative x minus 6. And then we have to
Then you gotta divide.
divide by negative 3, right?
Yep.
So negative x minus 6 over negative 3.
So y is gonna equal 2.
Nope.
3.
Y is going to equal that whole crazy mess. Right? We can't just get rid of the x.
Oh. So y is going to equal negative x minus 6 over negative
And it doesn't tell us we have to simplify it, but you notice all of those are negatives. So you could have also ended up with x plus 6 over 3 if I divide a negative divided by a negative and make it positive and so forth. But either way should be okay. All right, one last one here. If I add those two equations together, what am I going to get?
Okay, that's gonna cancel out. That one's gonna cancel out, and then this one is gonna have 9 minus plus. It's negative, minus 18.
So 0 equals negative 18. If I get 0 equals negative 18, which choice is my answer?
Equals negative 18. Okay, what'd you say now?
If I get 0 equals negative 18,
Oh, yeah.
which one am I going to pick for my answer?
Is that one, that's different than the other one, and you're going to get, the system has no solution.
No solution. 0 can't equal negative 18. We can't have that. So no solution. So if it's 0 equals 0, we have to rearrange it. But if it's 0 equals something other than 0, we just say no solution. Otherwise, we should be able to get an x equals and a y equals. All right. So we are going to go on your pie chart.